Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. So my presentation today is about all the data and analytics team started at Van Oord and the journey we did. Quick word about myself. I joined the company actually 3 months ago. My background is in traditional engineering activities, material and mechanical engineering, and I also have a bit of digital consulting experience. So I'm going to say we, but I'm still discovering that organization. And to do so, let's start by a quick movie about what Van Oord is and what we stand for.
We are facing many challenges. We need energy infrastructure to keep our mobile phones and economies charged. We need new and improved methods of coastal protection to keep our feet dry and create space for growing populations. We need maritime infrastructure to connect communities on every continent and help them prosper. At Van Oord, we don't just keep the world's major seaports accessible. Our people create new and improved ways of protecting coastal areas. Our fleet, technologies, and digital solutions contribute to the construction of some of the world's largest offshore energy projects, bringing us closer to net zero every day. Innovation is at the heart of our family-run operation and has been for more than 155 years. Building on our legacy as a global marine contractor, where we strive to create a better world for future generations by delivering marine ingenuity and create positive impact with our sustainable mindset. Climate adaptation accelerating the energy transition, creating space for growing populations, safeguarding global trade. We have many challenges in front of us. At Van Oord, we are fit for the task.
So as you can see, Van Oord is a proud company. We are proud of our history. We're proud of contributing to the energy transition, and we're proud of helping societies build resiliency to climate change. We are in the large engineering project business, and we have two large business units, one focusing on dredging and infrastructure, and the other one in the offshore energy. And from that short video, you saw as well that data and digital is a key part of our strategy in order to meet our goal in dredging, infrastructure, and offshore energy. So my presentation today is focusing on the journey we had for the past couple of years, where we were adding digital and data into a traditional engineering company. So what need changing in terms of mindset? I'm going to be talking about the structure of the data and analytics team. I'm going to be talking about the technology stack that we adopted and the processes that we changed. I'll finish talking a little bit about the importance of having business focus, practical use cases, and people. So first of all, about balancing data ambition with engineering DNA. So on the left side of the screen, you see what makes engineering projects successful. It's a decentralized decision making, where you're on a vessel, you encounter a problem, you need the solution to be there immediately available. You cannot have downtime. So we have our business units value autonomy and local flexibility. And you can see already, or it can be challenging if you're building a centralized data platform. We also have deep knowledge expertise, experts in their various engineering fields with not 5, but 10, 20 years of expertise in their domain. They rely on proven processes, they rely on good engineering practices. And again, this is a bit there's a bit of tension between that local data and expertise and having democratized data and knowledge accessible to the entire organization. And finally, engineering and large project means risk, and Oord is a very risk-averse organization. So how do you channel innovation? How do you take a leap? How do you embrace risk? And all of those things are needed to achieve our data ambitions. So this is the structure that the organization started with to create the data and analytics team. It's a hub and spoke model. In many of the conversation, there was the question whether a centralized structure is better or a decentralized structure is better. Of course, the response is it depends. And in practice, is you need a little bit of both. So I would rephrase the question in what are the responsibilities that you need to have centralized and what are the responsibilities that you need to have decentralized. And that's where that operating model works really well. So in the hub, we organize the guidelines, the standards, the way of working around data. This is where our governance sits. We facilitate technology adoption, we build self-service, and we create data communities. In the spoke, we keep that high level of autonomy that the teams are used to. They also are happy to keep that autonomy using our self-service tooling. And we use data to leverage domain expertise. But they remain the owner. And finally, the use case are business driven. Internally in the data analytics team, we are organized in 3 teams. So I'm responsible for the data platform, which means that I need to make sure data is ingested, available for everyone that needs a report or anyone that wants to use that data for machine learning, for reporting, for dashboarding. I'm working very strongly, very closely with the data products teams. They're the one helping the business to build dashboards, to make data available, and develop standardized products and templates. And finally, we are both of our work is governed by our data governance guideline and framework. So let's now talk a little bit about tooling, because in any organization with a bit of history, when you arrive there, you're going to see a variety of local solution and tool. And it's actually quite difficult to get away from that local equilibrium and to adopt best-in-class solutions. So we did it little by little. So first, we focused on BI and AI industry leading tool, Databricks, Power BI, Azure ML. Then we also focused on processes. How do we consistently deploy the services to the different team, and we implemented infrastructure as code automation so that we didn't rely on any specific configuration. We have our configuration centralized. We are building on, we consolidated into having a central platform, so Azure in that case. So instead of having a lot of database and decentralized system, we also have them all in the cloud, enabling modern DevOps processes and CI/CD pipeline. And finally, for governance and data management, we adopted Purview. And all of those technology, they work in the cloud. So in a couple of years, it went from a mix of hybrid and local into having all of our data and analytics stack completely in the cloud. And that allows us to deliver some use case. But then what is a good use case? And the best ones are driven by the business. Relevant use case by the business for the business. And this virtuous circle explains the traction we got. So we built self-service tools, ready-to-use templates that anyone that wanted to do a certain type of activity, they could access from Access. They would have their Power BI, or they would need an Azure ML cases where we had a template for them to get started. So they did not have to focus about the authentication. They did not have to focus about how did it work behind the scene. They could just focus on their data, their code, and their applications. So self-service, scalable thanks to the platform, and then relevant use case by the business for the business. And these reinforcing characteristics make sure we could deliver those practical use case focused on business. And I show four of them. Two of them relates to ML, and two are obviously very data intensive. So first of all, our autonomous survey vessel. Second is our public available map about climate risk. And the two bottom one, the invoice payment prediction, which is fairly old at that point, but it's a machine learning model that helps our procurement department assess how quickly an order is going to be filled or not, or an invoice is going to be paid or not. And this one is a bit more niche. It's a bit more on the engineering side. There are compliance and regulation about how much noise you can do in the sea to protect sea mammals when you're doing a monopile installation for offshore wind turbine. So it's very important to first measure the acoustic signal that you have when you're doing operations subsea and make sure you stay below a certain threshold. So being able to predict how much a certain installation is going to do as noise is a very valuable insight for the local team so that they can adapt their procedure and they can put in place mitigation method to reduce that noise signature. The last part is people. People are really important for having any change to stick. So I like what you said about the 16%, finding the champions in the organization. Those are 4 initiatives trying to get as many people as possible interested into the platform, and then indeed we find those champions. We find those people that are interested about using the one that are seeing behind the technology what they could do with what we put in place. So we organize a product page so that exactly in the same way you would request a laptop or a new phone, you could request a service to the data and analytics team. So we make visible what we provide to the organizations. We have an extensive training catalog. Introduction to Power BI, introduction to AI, beginner Power BI, introduction about data governance, dedicated to data stewards and data owners. So we cover all of those topics and we train hundreds of people a year across the organization. We also have dedicated community page where we regularly post about the upcoming training, about the wins, about the integration of new technologies or feature, and we host weekly Q&A sessions updating. And sometimes it's simply showing, hey, we have something cool to show you. There's that project we did with finance. If you're interested about doing something, shout, let us know you're here, let us know, or we can help you. So in the end, this was the strategy all the way back in 2023. And this is the journey so far. And you see it's a combination of changing process, adopting technology, and focusing on people. And I have a couple of figures on top of my head. So knowing the data and AI platform, we ingest daily data from 19 different systems. So it can be either a single couple of tables from a database, or it can be thousands of tables from an ERP system. We trained this year more than 300 people, AI, Power BI, governance. We have hundreds of dashboards that are daily refreshed, and 1,000 of data models that connect those different dashboards and tables in creating, well, knowledge and meaning across all of those data models. And we're also quite proud because we got a lot of visibility in our ExCom and Executive Management Board. Our data governance was approved earlier this year, and we are now working on to having an AI governance framework also adopted by the C-level management. And that's going to conclude my presentation about what's in it for us in the future. What are we doing around AI? Well, those successful data, we simply want to replicate and do exactly the same about AI. So, and trust is in the foundation. So we mentioned in the round table, all right, you've got your data, but how do you have trust about data and AI application? Well, if you have a good foundation, you will have trust. So our foundation on governance, on having all high quality data, centralized and governed, that's what allows us to build data products and AI applications. And the third point is also, I think, very important. If you do not know the cost of the solution, of the application, or can you know the value about it? So for AI, we also do a very strong push about evaluating case-by-case basis, how much does it cost to deliver that applications. So the weather is very interesting because maybe it costs €2 to do that weather request. Is it worth €2 when you can just do a very static dashboard to get the weather? So there's a hidden trade-off with cost. And yeah, as I mentioned, we want to adopt the same recipe, self-service and scalable AI platform. Well, thank you very much.